this is Tim from remodelingguy.net, and I just want to show you very quickly the 3 or 4 different cuts. I think there's 3 here, 4, maybe 4 different cuts that you're going to use when using baseboard around a wall. Now, I'm not trying to get everything here that could possibly happen, but I went looking for videos, as you'll see in the post, and really didn't find much. Don't have time to make a great video for you right now to show you exactly how to do it. It would involve a lot of work at my house. I'd have to bust up some tile baseboard that was here when we bought the house, and I'm not quite ready to do that. So I'm just going to show you as fast as I can just some simple ways. I just drew this up quickly in my CAD software, and I just want you to see that you've got a wall here, outside corner, and you're running baseboard on the outside of the wall. The lighter color indicates the baseboard that's here, and on an outside corner it's very simple. You just put it in the miter saw and cut a 45-degree angle. Opposite directions for the 2 different sides, and they meet together, and that's it. When I measure baseboard, I always measure, you can do it either way really, from the inside, which we call the short side, or from the outside, which is the long side. When you would do the outside is if you already have 2 pieces in place and you're measuring from piece to piece, then you could just measure from outside to outside. But when you're starting off, you generally would measure against the wall, and you get the link against the wall. So just make a note of which side of the baseboard you've measured, so that you know when you make your cut where to make your mark and cut it on the saw. Otherwise you could end up with a piece that's a ½ inch short, or whatever the width of the baseboard is, too short. And it's always good to measure twice, cut once, and if you're not 100% confident, you can always cut a little bit long, and it's easier to trim a board than it is to stretch one, that's for sure. So when we move over here, I've just got this put together. I want to show you when you have a inside corner. I'll show you that first. When you have an inside corner, you can use a 45-degree angle on the inside, or you can use a cope joint. I'll put a video in there that shows how to do a cope joint. Coping makes for a nice joint, especially if your walls are a little bit out of square, but a 45-degree miter is much quicker and easier, and generally if you're going to paint your trim, you can fill any gaps with caulking or putty, but if you're using stain trim work or something where just very, very minor tolerances are required, then you're going to have to use a cope joint on the inside corners. Sometimes between walls, the length of baseboard is not long enough. In that case, you just do a little back bevel on one of your pieces, and you cut the front bevel on the front of it. You can use a 45-degree angle. It really doesn't matter what angle you use. You just cut one piece, angle the end of it, you cut the other one to have the opposing angle so that it'll slide right over top of it, and this will give you a nice joint. Hopefully that's clear there in the picture. You can see what I'm talking about doing. I don't know how to better explain it other than just to show it to you there, and maybe one of these days I'll try and put together an actual video showing you how to do this work. When you get up to a door casing, you just have a 90-degree straight cut, and it just butts up against the door casing, and that's it. So those are a few. Now sometimes, let me zoom way out, and we'll just kind of review these again real quick. Door casing is 90-degree, inside corners is a 45-degree. You can do any kind of angle here, just some sort of an angle to lap your long joints on long walls. Outside corners, 45 degrees again. With baseboard, in most houses it's generally 45 degrees. Now you might have angled walls, in which case you'll just have to use little scrap pieces to get a little trial and error until you get that exact angle figured out. Sometimes people have a curved corners, the rounded bull-nosed baseboard, drywall, and they want to know how to get baseboard around those corners, and I've shown it here. It's basically simply 22.5 degree angles adds up to 45. 22.5 plus 22.5 is 45. So you need a 45-degree angle to get around this wall, and you've got 22.5 here and 22.5 here and here. That finally equals 90. See, I might be getting confusing here, but if this were a square corner, you'd have a 45 and a 45. 45 and 45 equals 90, which is what this angle is. This turn in the wall is a 90-degree turn. When you have a curve on it, you can use a 22.5 and a 22.5, and those 4 22.5-degree angles add up to 90. So but that's really simply how you do it. You just extend your baseboard a little bit long, cut a 22.5 on it, do the same thing with the other piece. Generally we will do the outside pieces first, this piece and this piece first, and then fill in the little gap, because exactly how far this goes past the corner isn't really critical, but you'll see if you look very closely here, you'll see that it's not tight. It can't be. It goes past that curve a little bit on both of these angles, and this is not perfectly drawn, but you'll see that it goes past it a little bit. So you put those pieces in first, and then whatever space you have in between, you make a little piece to fill it. Then you'll have these little gaps on top that you fill with a little bit of caulking. And that's simply how you do it. And very soon, or I don't know how soon, as soon as I can, I will get together a video showing you exactly how you do this in person. I'll actually do it for you, but haven't had time to get to that yet. So hopefully this, along with the other videos in this post, will help you. And good luck. And if you have any questions, you can always email me. Thank you.